Good afternoon, and welcome to the Cultural Studies Capstone Forum. My name is Jaafar Aksikas, and I'm one of the Capstone instructors here. This is indeed one of the most exciting moments and events for us every year as we come here to celebrate the good work of our students in the capstone thesis and capstone internship seminars. The capstone thesis is a scholarly research project that results from a course of study in the program, culminating in a year-long research process guided in our capstone courses. And the capstone internship is a praxis-based kind of experience based on an internship that's also guided in our capstone courses. It is my distinct pleasure to moderate this exciting intellectual gathering today. On behalf of the program, I would like to welcome all of you, students, friends, parents, family, professors, staff, and administrators, and thank each of you for supporting our students. This kind of hard and rewarding work is the result of support from so many people. And first of all, I must acknowledge our cultural studies faculty who teach, mentor, and support our students every day. Their work is tireless, and we're very grateful. I especially thank my colleague, Dr. Ann Genkel, the core instructor of the first semester of the capstone experience, and Dr. Sean Andrews, and Dr. Sean Andrews, the coordinator of the internship capstone, who we'll hear from later. Secondly, and as Steve mentioned, our program is one of the very few programs that are kind of co-housed by more than one department. And our program, as Steve mentioned, is co-housed both in the Department of Humanities, History, and Social Sciences and the Department of English. We owe our chairs, Dr. Stephen Corey, spoke earlier, and Dr. Ken Daly, chair of the Department of English, and our coordinators, Dr. Jean Petrol and Dr. Rob Watkins, an acknowledgement today. Thank them for all the hard work they've been committing to the program. So thank you. Jean, I see Jean here. Could you wait? Jean, do you want to say a few words?
Congratulations to the graduates, and congratulations to the family of the graduates. It takes a lot of people to get someone through college, so congratulations to everyone here.
Great, thank you. I would also like to thank our Cultural Studies liaison, Keith Lasson, who has advised our students and worked with them very closely. Keith, is Keith here? Keith? Great. We also benefit from the support of our academic administrator, Christy Del Carbo, who works very hard every year to organize this important event. Thank you, Christy. In addition, staff members Oscar Valdez, Krista Rogers, and Brett King. I see Brett at the back, who is actually a cultural studies graduated a year or so ago. So he's now with us in the department, and also all the student workers who are vital members of our cultural studies community. This is always an exciting event for us because we get to see firsthand the fruits of our students and their labors. For many of them, this work is a very meaningful, profoundly meaningful stepping stone to graduate study and career opportunities. We're fortunate that our graduates have moved to wonderful successes and remarkable distinction in nonprofit work, in politics, in museums, in media production, in educational software design, in cultural organizations, and in very competitive graduate programs in history, education, African American studies, media studies, communication studies, and more. So we are confident in the future of our current cohort as well. We're proud that Columbia College has emerged in the last few years as one of the leading centers of undergraduate research in cultural studies in North America. We're ranked one of the top 10 programs in the country by Education Portal. And a few years ago, we were the first undergraduate program in cultural studies to ever host, actually in the world, the first undergraduate program to ever host the International Cultural Studies Association Conference. And so far, we've hosted that conference twice. In fact, several of our students have also presented in that conference, including one of the presenting students who will be presenting at the conference in LA next week. Many of our own students also study abroad. We have had cultural studies major studying in Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, Thailand, France, and the United Kingdom. I want to now say a little bit about cultural studies. Cultural studies is probably best understood in this context as the intellectually committed and theoretically kind of informed, praxis-oriented, and radically contextualist study of culture, where the commitment to imagine a different, a better, more humane, more democratic social order has always been a guiding desire in cultural studies from its moment of origins in post-war Britain. And in this sense, cultural studies is not just an academic discipline, it's also an intellectual political project to produce useful knowledge that people outside the academy, outside the walls of the university can do something with. Cultural studies, as you're going to see, deploys a variety of research methods and critical methodologies to explore the production, regulation, distribution, consumption of cultural phenomenon, always in their larger conjunctural and social context. Cultural studies understands culture as a broad way of life, or as E.P. Thompson, one of the leading figures in cultural studies, put it, as a way of struggle, and encourages interdisciplinary perspectives and methodologies, but at the same time demands a rigorous engagement with cultural texts, forms, formations of all kind. All the presentation you're going to see this afternoon in different ways and in different degrees speak to these central methodological and intellectual commitments in the field. It helps to reiterate some of the things that Steve and Rob said. I'm just going to quickly explain what's going to happen and how the proceedings are going to unfold. There will be two panels. I will introduce each of the first 8 panelists who will each present their capstone project thesis. So we have the thesis group, 8 panelists you see, and each panelist will present or will speak for about 15 minutes, talking about their project, of course in a very abridged forms, because these are capstones that average 40 pages long. Some of them are even longer. And after everyone in the first panel has spoken, has presented, we're going to open the floor for discussions and questions. And we're going to have a very short break, and then we're going to have the second panel of the internship group. They're going to present, then questions and answers. And after that, we're going to have a reception in the lobby.